How it's going today is 20th of December, Friday, and we're gonna be taking a look at a market and what's happening in some of the government's press releases. Just to start things out, yesterday, that will be 19th of December, there was Prime Minister questions and answers for people who are interested overall and reflecting on the progress and how everything is going. I don't know some of those areas. The conversation has been started about where most of the problems are, but some information can be anyway. So people who are interested, they can take a look at this video. That would be about an hour and a half long. It's great, I guess. Overall, full of information of where things are going, but perhaps there are other issues when it comes to businesses, entrepreneurship. No one's discussing that, which might be important. But anyway, everyone has an opinion, right? But anyway, let's progress. Let's take a look at some of the government's press releases. But the technical independent advisors sought for College of Experts. Talking about experts, right? It's recruiting individuals for a diverse range of science, engineering, and industrial background to join its first ever College of Experts. So it could be kind of advisors, I guess. I haven't read it right, so let's try to understand it. Range of independent experts to be recruited to help inform future policy on areas such as planning, building safety, and homelessness. Okay, just this particular sector. Anyway, a new college of experts will be made up of members from a range of science, engineering, and industrial backgrounds. Members will ensure policies are thought truly stress tested and fit for purpose. Okay. I don't know. Coming back to your prime minister's questions, he said he will do it. He said he will do it. 1.5 million of homes, and they can do it. Government can do it, right? And perhaps have to be a part of it. Minister of Housing, Communities and Local Governments is recruiting individuals for a diverse range of science, engineering and industrial backgrounds to join its first ever College of Experts. The body will help inform future policies using valuable expert knowledge, supporting the department's central role in delivering the government's plan for change. There are contact information and there's so many articles we would go over the time if we read entire information. For people who like to engage and express their interest in such a great initiative, it's just if you yourself you would take part and if government would do anything based on that information that they will receive, or government not necessarily would be interested, they would read it, but they don't actually do anything. So that might happen. But anyways, it's good that to this point someone's doing something right. Let's progress. So many articles, right? And there's a lot of catching up there. Stronger protection and better deal for consumers in review of energy regulator. That the government takes action to straighten the British energy regulator. Something that we published yesterday. Government takes first steps to repair Great Britain's retail energy market and deliver real change for working people. And okay, we're working on at least supporting these individuals, but perhaps we should support everyone, right? Businesses. I know how hard it is to manufacture anything in UK, so you need to buy everything from overseas. But anyway, aligned with its plan for change, review will straighten the energy regulator to support consumers and protect households from poor services and will make sure it continues to support growth and innovation in the sector or energy sector. It will also investigate improving access to automatic compensation when things go wrong. Okay, sure, this is a large article. What would be a good example? What is happening in the United States? Since United States are most likely gonna lead by example when it comes to energy and how much energy United States can produce, but it's importing energy. So that perhaps where things should start if United States is sitting on so much energy and they importing energy. As of now, UK is importing about 10% of its energy, right? So perhaps we should start at this point, and why 10% of energy should be purchased by UK. Why? Perhaps there are regulators who can answer this kind of question, right? And once 100% of energy would be fulfilled domestically, surplus energy could be sold overseas, right? That's where things should start. But there's a lot of regulators and again people expressing their views and sharing feedback when it comes to regulators. I guess again we most likely are wasting time. Let's progress. Let's take a look at the next article. Let's take a look at the next example. That would be new council powers to boost house building and all infrastructure. Thousands of more homes across the country will be delivered quicker and more easily thanks to new planning changes announced today. Okay. It's government's mission, and we should be supporting government and encouraging government to deliver on this mission, as well as this kind of problem would be very important to address. Thousands of okay, I'm talking myself into reading it. Oh, we're just making a lot of noise and no one's doing anything. But anyway, council is to be able to buy cheaper land to deliver more homes and all drive economic growth. Sure, removal of hope value to help councils meet housing targets. Okay, sure. Supporting the government's plan for change to deliver 1.5 million homes and all overhaul the planning system. Thousands of more homes across the country will be delivered quicker and more easily thanks to new planning changes announced today, driving new investments in town centers and economic growth for local communities. Under a proposed set out of government today, local councils across the country will be empowered to buy cheaper land throughout the use of compulsory purchase order and will build much needed homes and all infrastructure as part of the government plan for change milestone to build 1.5 million homes and all while driving growth across the country. Land, so since perhaps a lot of people would purchase land and they would sit on that land, and everyone knows it. Including some of the massive infrastructure projects. Some people would, perhaps for tax reasons, they would be parking their money in land, which is okay, I guess. But then, when you are looking to purchase some of that land, that's a completely different story. And it could be 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, it could be 10 years, it could be 12 years. Anyway. Uh, Again, there's so many articles to cover, right? So we not necessarily would be delving deeper. There's a consultation on the compulsory purchase process and on compensation reform. Will be open for 8 weeks and will close in February 2025. It is available here. So for perhaps people who like to express views again, and there would be perhaps a process, but this particular process will be open for next 8 weeks when it comes to voicing your concerns, I guess. Let's progress. Let's take a look at the next article. That would be interpretation, right? Perhaps when it comes to software engineering, right? And more project management, software engineering and software management when it comes to some of the tools, including AI. Perhaps having very good skilled professional would be very important. This particular professional to have it, perhaps, and automating all the systems, right? Once that been said, we can take a look at project finance advisor appointed. Perhaps there's a person there has been appointed as independent advisor for Treasury on project finance by Financial Secretary of Treasury. HM Treasury is the lead department for delivering government's mission to kickstart economic growth and also secure the highest sustained growth in G7, delivering on its mission required interaction with complex policy issues, first-hand experiences in innovating financial structures of infrastructures and all growth sectors will help ensure the UK's policy position in space achieve in the indeed objective in practice. Okay. Overall, it's great. Perhaps there is individual. Perhaps if more and more people will have more and more background in software, perhaps worth highlighting. Other than that, it's great. As well as finances would be very important. Let's progress. Let's take a look at the next article. Deal agreed to secure. There's the name of the company. Future protection. Thousands of UK shipbuilding jobs. That would be perhaps name or location has agreed to or company's name, right, has agreed to a commercial deal to purchase all four of this company's name shipyard, securing 1,000 UK building jobs, which is great. That would be 1,000 UK jobs secured as a shipbuilding. Is the name of the company. UK has agreed commercial deal to purchase this company that I believe it's been operating for very long, but anyway, deal with subject to regulatory approval, secure the future of all four. This company's shipyards in the Northern Ireland, Scotland, and Devon, retaining the proud role of shipbuilding in Scotland and Northern Ireland. National security is in foundation of the plan for change. Without it, we can deliver our mission to raise living standards across UK with the good skills and all productive jobs. Okay. First, let's take a look at this company. Perhaps I have a lot of opinions, but let's take so what information is available up there. Most people know it would be top competitor would be China, and how fast and how many dogs China would have. If we take a look at four, China will have hundreds and hundreds, and by ton and how fast China would be able to build ships, it's very hard to compete in business. Currently, it's very hard to compete, and some of the statistics I was taking a look at previously. I don't know if we should be taking a look at those statistics, but how fast and how cheap, and main problem is automation. Again, automation, and it's been highlighted with some of those partners, and everyone knows about it, right? Once that has been said, let's take a look at briefly at this company, and we'll come back to this article. This particular company is a rig shipbuilding and heavy engineering company based in Belfast, Northern Ireland. It is based known for construction some of the most famous ocean liners of the early 20th century, including Titanic, the same Titanic that the movie was made about. I had a chance to take a look at documentary yesterday. There's a lot of conspiracy theories about swapping ships. I believe there was Titanic may or may not be swapped with another ship, but I think there was a different name. I can't remember the name of other ship that may or may not be swapped. Well, there's a book written about it, right? That was insurance fraud, all these kind of things, right? So that would be perhaps historical and or 20th century, including some of the ships, right? Key facts: founded in 1862. Notable projects that would be. I would be interested in understanding currently where the market is and what kind of ships they should be taking a look at, and can they compete with other nearby European companies who I know, perhaps Asian companies, South Korea at the top, China at the top, right? And all perhaps European partners, can they collaborate on some of the projects? Since there's a lot of contracts currently been signed between Germany and there's a massive contract, can some of those contracts been signed with this company? That would be great. More jobs, more opportunities, right? Let's progress. Let's take a look at this article, what this article is all about. Perhaps just to put things into perspective, I have mentioned that previously, but that would be maritime industry and or National Maritime Charter, Office of National Intelligence, recently assessed that China's shipbuilding industry feels that would be 232 times more. So US would build one and China would build 232 ships. Shipbuilding capacity to the United States, representing almost 50% of total global shipbuilding capacity, is stark differences like these, the U.S. Navy represents in many ways of shipbuildings are better shipbuilders. That's why we have more modern, more capable, more detailed Navy. But overall, right? So I'll share this graph. Is it accurate? It depends. It depends. I don't know if we're looking at quantity, if we're looking at quality, and if we're looking at cost. There's many ways to assess this, and that will be some information available of that. Right? 1,000 UK jobs will be saved by a commercial deal expected to be completed shortly with there's the name of this project. I don't know this company, so I'll skip it. There will be people names, I guess. We will progress without this, right? To purchase all of its shipyard securities and of future shipbuilding in Belfast and North Scotland. The deal will secure the future of this company's shipyard in Northern Ireland, Belfast, Scotland, and as well as Devon, and all protect workers' existing terms and conditions. It will also ensure the delivery of the Ministry of Defence contract with this company's name to build the Royal Navy ships with which will be transported. I don't know if we need to know this kind of information. By the way, so it's good at building ships. It's all what you need to know. Spares and all supplies for UK's aircraft carriers. Sure, we don't need to know this information. I know. I guess. Do we need to know? I don't know. It's written there. Yes. The governors work closely with. We're gonna get someone in trouble anyway. An agreement to armament of the existing FCC program contract to commercial terms, which makes a minimum change necessary to ensure these companies can still deliver on the contract and all build all free Navy ships. Overall, it's great. I guess jobs. So we're taking a look at 1,000 jobs, as well as it might be spread across the country. I guess how many companies are there, how many docks are there. I might know some of these areas, but not necessarily all these areas. As well as I was trying to catch up yesterday with watching some of these documentaries about the history of some of these companies, and I don't know how accurate some of these documentaries are, as well as books. Perhaps some people have written books about insurance and accident that led into swapping ships, that led to a ship being sinked, as well as insurance payout. I don't know. What I do know is some of the Asian countries are performing some of the European companies and all UK and all United States, right? So that's an issue. Just focusing on real data. So if we take a look at 1,000 jobs, how can we automate more and or build more ships? Since there might be a massive demand for ships, right? And hopefully we can see more contracts, and not necessarily just for military contracts. Perhaps there might be some more of the shipment of goods and all trade, including United States, but we will see with all the trade agreements, right? The deal represents a major investment into UK's industrial base from this company and all will provide opportunities for future naval work at this company's shipyard across the country, which could create new jobs and all give boosts for UK's coastal communities nationwide. Last article, and we're gonna close on this article. That is the bus services. Bill statement on latest of AI submissions. Okay, sure. Regulatory Policy Committee produce options of impact assessment. Okay, AI and all options assessment are to help department to ensure that evidence and all analysis them is sufficient and robust. They provide the independent opinion to assist ministerial decision making or parliamentary security and or regular policy. We publish these assistance parliamentary to ensure that they are available to external stakeholders, government or departments not expected of submission AIs to the RPC in time of RPCs to issue an option before relevant legislation is laid before Parliament. It's great. I don't know the entire subject, but there was a recent announcement. Would that be 17th of December? So 3 or so days ago, that would be world first driverless bus services to be dropped, right? So we might have something to do with that. Should we take a look at this article? Not necessarily. This video is gonna be too long. We can briefly take a look at what happened with the some of the AI services. But anyway, that would be driverless bus services, thought to be first of its kind in the world to be pulled because of the lack of passengers. Okay, okay. Less and less people, perhaps prices. Less and less people choosing to use buses. Okay. CA, okay, this company's name has operated a full-size self-driving bus between FIFA and Edinburgh for there's the name of the company, timetable since May 2023, which estimated capacity of 10,000 passengers a week. 5 single-decker vehicles which require 2 drivers on board, even then operating autonomously, have making a 14-mile journey between there's a name of locations, Park Train and O Train in interchange. But it's hard to say because the driver is still there. So perhaps when it comes to levels, would that be 5 levels? So when it comes to autonomous and or increased safety measures and government's policies, something that we are taking a look at. When it comes to lack of passengers, right? How expensive it is to have this bus just driving on its own? How expensive can it be? Perhaps there's other measures, including how to pay for a bus. Can entire system might need to be reimagined. That would be payment system. From payment, that would be security measures. From security measures, perhaps if we go all the way up to level 5 autonomy, so there would not necessarily be a need of having a person or quote-unquote driver. Can we reduce size of, if it's 5-decker, can we reduce size? And increase number of those buses, right? Perhaps if we rethink system like that, might still be economically valuable to operate this bus. But anyway, let's close on that. Thanks for watching. See you next one.